Modern IT departments face a severe structural problem, taking an abstract business demand and converting it into tangible value without the entire process cracking under its own operational weight. For years, legacy frameworks treated IT as a siloed cost center. The standard operating procedure was to build a product in isolation and throw it over the wall to the business. That linear approach fails in modern environments. ITIL 4 reorganizes service management around the concept of active value co-creation, where providers and consumers must collaborate continuously to generate results. To see how this works, we have to isolate the two absolute endpoints of any IT operation. On the left, we have demand, a request or an opportunity. On the right, the intended output, value. Traditional IT tried to connect these two nodes with a single, rigid pipeline of linear processes. When that rigid pipeline encounters a sudden shift in business priorities or an unexpected software bug, it breaks. The workflow fractures into disjointed, isolated silos, and the connection fails. To fix this inherent fragility, ITIL 4 replaces a linear pipeline with two interacting frameworks: the service value system and the four dimensions of service management. If you are preparing for the ITIL 4 foundation exam, or if you simply want to survive in modern IT service management, memorizing checklists of processes won't work. You have to understand how this holistic architecture operates. Let's clear away the broken silos and look strictly at the space between demand and value. This gap is bridged by the service value system, or SVS. This is the overarching architecture that defines how every component in your organization works together. The input entering the system comes in two forms: opportunity, which represents new market possibilities, and demand, which represents direct requests from business stakeholders. The output exiting the system is value. Crucially, in ITIL 4, this value is co-created through active collaboration, rather than simply delivered as a finished product. Inside this container, the SVS relies on 5 interlocking components to convert that demand into value. The first component is governance. This is the mechanism that directs and controls the organization, ensuring all IT operations align with overarching corporate strategy. Next is continual improvement, a dedicated component ensuring the entire system constantly adapts and evolves, integrating seamlessly with lean and agile methodologies. The remaining 3 components round out the system: guiding principles, the service value chain, and management practices. Without the SVS acting as a unified container holding these pieces together, IT departments default to acting like disjointed external vendors instead of integrated business partners. At the dead center of the SVS is its operational engine, the service value chain. This dictates the actual, tangible steps your teams take to respond to demand. The service value chain consists of 6 activities. The first is plan, which ensures a shared understanding of the vision, current status, and direction across all parties. The second is improve, the clear mandate to ensure continual enhancement of all products, services, and practices across the entire ecosystem. Third is engage. This activity is dedicated to maintaining a deep understanding of stakeholder needs and ensuring ongoing transparency. Fourth is design and transition, the stage that ensures services meet stakeholder expectations for cost, quality, and time before they are deployed. Fifth is obtain and build, which ensures that all necessary service components are available exactly when and where they are needed. Finally, deliver and support handles the actual provision of the IT services according to agreed specifications. A common mistake is assuming these 6 activities happen in a rigid, sequential order. In reality, they form a highly complex, nonlinear web of interactions. Depending on the specific type of demand being processed, organizations route work through these nodes in customized pathways known as value streams. Treating the service value chain as a simple step-by-step checklist will guarantee bottlenecks, particularly when attempting to integrate with modern DevOps environments. The service value chain doesn't operate in a vacuum. It is supported by 2 systemic layers: practices below it and guiding principles above it. ITL practices are sets of organizational resources designed for performing work or accomplishing an objective. These are the modern evolution of what ITL v3 called processes. For the foundation exam, you must know the purpose of core practices like incident management, problem management, change enablement, and the service desk. Above the practices sit the guiding principles. These are 7 behavioral compasses that shape organizational decision-making, regardless of shifting goals or management structures. Principles like focus on value and progress iteratively with feedback enforce an agile mindset across the entire IT workforce. The dynamic between these 2 layers is precise. Practices provide the specific tools you use to get work done, but the guiding principles dictate how and when you apply those tools. Practices supply the organizational muscle. The guiding principles provide the required judgment, preventing your operational practices from degrading into bureaucratic red tape. Even the most perfectly designed operational machinery will shatter if placed into a hostile or unsupported external environment. To account for this, the entire service value system is wrapped within the 4 dimensions of service management. These act as the holistic constraints and resources shaping your operations. Dimension 1 is organizations and people. This requires a focus on corporate culture, the defining of distinct roles, and ensuring the workforce possesses the required competencies. Dimension 2 is information and technology. This covers the actual data, the knowledge bases, and the cloud or local architecture required to deliver the service. Dimension 3 is partners and suppliers, focusing heavily on external vendor relationships, contracts, and third-party integrations. Dimension 4 is value streams and processes, defining exactly how the various parts of the organization integrate and coordinate their work to generate value. A critical point for the exam: neglecting any single one of these 4 dimensions creates a systemic bottleneck that will eventually cause the entire service value system to fail. These 4 dimensions act as an environmental filter. They dictate what the theoretical machinery of the SVS can actually achieve in reality. With all pieces on the board, we can see the complete ITIL forward ecosystem in motion. Demand enters the prism, processes dynamically through the SVS, and exits as value. If a business unit requests a new software feature, that demand filters through the 4 dimensions, enters the service value chain engine, and is shaped and executed using specific practices. The output of this system goes beyond the deployment of a server or a software patch. It is the co-creation of actual business value. For foundation exam candidates, relying on this spatial mental model is highly effective. Visualizing how these components physically interact is a much stronger strategy than rote vocabulary memorization. But mastering this architecture extends far beyond passing a certification test. It is the mechanism that aligns daily IT operations directly with overarching business strategy. ITIL 4 functions as an operating system for creating synergy between IT and modern business.